Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode, another recap of AEW All In, another episode of All Elite with Keeks. Um, I know I was out last week, but I'm back this week. You know what I'm saying? It's the fall season. I hope everybody had a great weekend, a restful weekend. If you didn't, hopefully you rest up this coming weekend. A lot has happened over the weekend, obviously, currently, still. Hey, Ayo. Hey, everybody that is joining, watching via Twitter, watching on YouTube, watching on Instagram, because you can look at it through Instagram now, watching through all of the social media accounts. I do appreciate y'all for tuning in to another All Out Recap. But of course, before we get into any wrestling, anything, y'all know I do my political pop sports updates that happened during the weekend. But before we get started with that, I do want to wish my condolences. It was breaking news that we lost Mr. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader himself, Mufasa, Hakeem Daddy. So many roles he played in. He was very significant, especially in the 70s Black film, also in theater. Very essential. He is a legend indeed. He died at the age of 93. He lived a long, great life, left a great legacy. He will always be famous. He will always be a stature, one of the most unique voices in acting / theater. So rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family, all the fans, everybody that has worked with him. But yeah, so rest in power to a legend indeed. Okay. Political news. Y'all know tomorrow it is the great debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. So make sure. Yes, I will get to that. I'm sorry. Before I get into that, another condolences to the victims of Alapatchee High School in Georgia. A mass shooting that happened in Georgia. They have arrested the 14-year-old and also his daddy. I'm glad they are holding these parents accountable as well as these brats that is, causing trauma. Rest in power to these 4 innocent people, the 2 students and the 2 teachers that lost their lives senseless. 80 students were injured and 1 teacher was injured as well. Prayers to all the faculty and staff at Alapatchee High School because, that's a traumatizing experience. We are in times where gun violence and gun control needs to be in order. We are tired of having to witness this senseless mess. They had a little hearing for, possible leading up to his prison sentence coming soon, but he wants to blame bullying. And my thing is, go after the bully. And I'm not encouraging nobody to, but why do everybody else have to suffer for your trauma? And then they're also trying to humanize him as saying like he comes from a struggle upbringing. A lot of us come from a struggle upbringing and we ain't going to no schools or nowhere and causing harm on nobody because of our upbringing. So just want to pray for Alapatchee High School in Georgia. I know that's a scary situation. It has most of America alert. So Yeah, we have that. And then again, like I was saying previously, tomorrow it is the great debate between Kamala and Donald Trump. Special coverage. It is tomorrow. I encourage everybody to watch to see, what we're going to be dealing with. They did update Kamala Harris um, website where she lists all of the policies that she stands for. She dumbed it down. So there is no excuse as to, for you to not know what she stands for politically and who she is for. She is working towards the working and the middle class, reshaping it. So take the time out to read the website and just go down to see what she stands for so you can be in the know and alert. Hold on one second, y'all. So make sure, hey Eddie, so yeah, make sure y'all be in the know of that. So be sure to tune in to that tomorrow. There is no way you should be watching NXT. You should be aware of what's going on in the current country that you're residing in. So in my opinion, it's no shade, okay? Also, pop culture news. Now this one hurt differently for me because this was my 20s. Okay, we did lose Rich Homie Quan. This hurt. It definitely hurt me. And it's music. I say it all the time. Music is a connection, and sometimes it doesn't matter who it is, don't matter what song it is, it always takes you back to a certain place in your life. And Rich Homie Quan was 2012, 2017 was, in my opinion, his peak years, especially in the music industry. As far as like his hooks and as far as the mixtapes, and of course him being a pair with Young Thug. It was just unfortunate, like things happening throughout the industry that kind of got him blackballed. But the fans, we never did stop loving him and loving his music. And I was happy to see him get his flowers. And people was just like, y'all now messing with him. I'm like, the fans always mess with him. We ain't got nothing to do with what the industry was doing. But as far as like the fans, we was still jamming Rich Homie Quan. It was just so unfortunate. That news was, I don't know, but it takes me back to my years when I was at Grambling University, the club days, my club days, and stuff like that. And I know his father did an interview not too long ago and said it's going to be a public funeral because he wants the fans, the people that loved him, to be there. They're going to do it real big for his homegoing. So he left 5 kids behind. So prayer for his kids, his siblings, his daddy. We know his daddy because he had a whole song about him and stuff. And even though I feel like maybe, Thug and him was beefing, but I do feel like Thug, it do hit for him because regardless if you have beef with somebody, you still think of the good times. And, as Rich Homie had said before, like he was young at the time, he regret, allowing people to get in his ear and say certain things and just cause a disruption between a relationship. So rest in power to Rich Homie. Walkthrough was my shit. To this date. That is my shit. All right. And then, of course, it's still currently being talked about. It caused a whole ruckus. But Kendrick Lamar is performing and headlining the Super Bowl. Got folks mad, got folks spiraling. You got YMCTE going crazy. They throwing shots at Hove. You got people just assuming because the Super Bowl is located somewhere, it means that the artist is gonna be. And I'm like, if that's the case, why y'all not outraged Britney Spears? Because Britney Spears from Louisiana. Where is the outrage? Why it have to be Lil Wayne? Why I can't be Britney Spears? I don't like the fake outrage. Crash Out Queen. Yes, Nicki Minaj kind of she ain't saying his name, but we know it's directed, so she don't want to say it because she know that's gonna be some other smoke that she ain't ready for, and that's a Beyonce smoke. So she tiptoeing around it, but Beyonce ain't nothing to play with. And then you come at Beyonce crazy, the sister coming out of nowhere. Solange is coming out of nowhere. Then possibly Kelly. That's something she ain't trying to play with. She tiptoeing around it. I'm pretty sure Mama Tina is trying so hard not to say nothing. Tina knows, like she want to say something so bad. And Beyonce probably like, don't even worry about it. But yeah, she coming at Jay-Z, Birdman. I don't know why Birdman is including himself in there, because you tried to get this man unalive because there's people mad that Lil Wayne ain't headlining. Like I said on TikTok, I love Lil Wayne, but 2024 performing wise, Lil Wayne, no, absolutely not. Like he's not sober. He's not in performing mindset. It'll sound that's how it will sound all through the 15 minutes. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear a Millie sound like you drunk. Can't understand you. Like, even when you be talking, doing your sports take with Skip Bayless, we still can't understand you. So why would y'all want to hear that? I don't. I feel like Kendrick is going to do really great. It's going to be a good performance. He's a good performer. He cares. He do rehearsals and all of that. And he's very creative and intentional. So it's going to be a great Super Bowl performance, regardless of the outrage. Y'all just going to be mad. Y'all be all right. I'm going to be in my living room. Kendrick Lamar, if you can, like I said on Twitter, I want to hear Meet the Grams. I don't care. You could just do the piano intro or something. I want to hear it. I am that diabolical. I'm that sinister. I want to see it. If you could just get a little piano to do it, I don't know. But it's going to be a great performance. I don't, all it's just going to make him come 20 times harder. And it's going to be a great, epic performance. So, and then, of course, NFL is back. Speaking of the Super Bowl, NFL is back. The kickoff happened the past Thursday when they was in Brazil. No one trying to hear that. What a hater. But NFL is back. Thursday it was Eagles versus whatever. Who did they play? They played somebody. Packers. Yeah, because they injured that boy. I saw it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, NFL is back, and my team is 1-0. Is your team 1-0? Play the song. Play it.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
We put that pervert in the dirt yesterday. Mr. Touchy Feely went in the dirt yesterday. And I heard he in some more stuff today. Get that freaky. We put that freaky man in the dirt. Pray for the Giants fans. They was crashing out all on TikTok. It was so funny. Gotta pray for them boys. But yeah, my team is 1-0. Shout out to University of Texas. We beat Michigan. F Eminem. You know what I'm saying? We beat Michigan and we walked in their trap, took over their trap. And then shout out to Caitlin Clark, because my girl, you know what I'm saying? She doing what she got to do. And rest up to Angel Reese because she injured her wrist. So, but that's all. My political pop sports update. So, yeah, that's all that happened past few weekends. So, we're gonna get started with the main show again. It is gonna be the All Out Recap. So let's get this show started.
Monday night, you know what that means. Yeah. You know what that means. Realest on the grab scene, queen of the enemies, all elite with keys. Straight out of Dallas with it, dynamite fuse, she lit it. Standing on women business, going all out. Let's get it, keep it respectful though. Don't want that brawl out, we just talking fallout, storylines and call outs. Say what's the word, geeks? I know y'all heard geeks on air with the facts, not the rumors from dirt sheets. If you's a real collider, then let's ride with her. A real live winner, we going live with her. Yeah. All elite with kicks, yeah. All elite with kicks. All elite with kicks, yeah. All elite with kicks.
Yeah, man. So today's episode, of course, again, it's the All Out Recap. If you was here for the All In Recap, I'm gonna do the same type thing. I'm not doing match for match anymore. I'm just gonna do the key things that stood out at the All Out and just talk about some key, things that I, in my personal opinion, that I feel like was important or needs to be discussed to help for further, agendas or narratives or help y'all understand why A plus B equals C. You know what I'm saying? So a few things happen. Again, let's talk about the theme of All Out because that's been the interesting topic in the IWC in regards to their vitalness, dangerous, brutality, and it's just too much for PG and all of this other crap that I've been seeing. All Out has always been brutal since day one. That's the reason why it's called All Out. You go all out. No pun intended, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been either new beginnings or things ended. But even though AEW has added more pay-per-views to the program, because All Out used to be the last no, not All Out, but it was always the other one. But All Out, as far as like creative wise, still was either beginning of something or it's ending something creative wise, like the creatives in the room. So the theme is always like they're going to go all out in what story, like we saw with Moxley and Orange Cassidy. I will even add Cody. What was that? His brother he faced? He faced somebody. Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks, the cage match. Like it's just certain significant matches and stories that ended or it began or it took a turn. You know what I'm saying? So, but in either way, it was always brutal. It was never normal. And it was a lot of gimmick matches in All Out. That's their thing. Okay? So I don't know why people expect rainbows, glitter. Their graphic has always been black. It's always been black. All Out. So that should tell you everything. It's going to be dark. If you can't handle it, then it's not for you. So I'm going to get into, me that I feel like was probably one of the best women's street fight AEW has had. And that was Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. Women business. Street fight, women business. It was perfect. The ladies did what needed to be done. And this is why I say it's important when an opponent, when they trust each other, and these two, they trust each other enough to do the roles in the spots that they did in this gimmick match, which was a Chicago street fight. You had Chris, speared Willow off the rail. You had a light pole get hit on Chris Statlander's head. She just did the splits on the tags. Like, it was just different things that you normally don't see women do on television, especially pay-per-view. And Willow and Chris have a history of doing street fights as a team. They are familiar with street fights. They are familiar with hardcore style fights. That's been their thing. That's one of their highlights, in my opinion, is this type of match. And Chris Statlander takes the win. Of course, she finally gets her win against Willow Nightingale. But overall, it was one of the greatest women's business street fight. In my opinion, you don't have to bring up Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa match anymore, because this definitely surpassed it. Surpassed every women's business street fight that they've had. So the crowd was into it. I was into it. The cameraman was definitely into it. The angles that he kept zooming in on, if you know, because if you was watching, y'all know exactly where his camera kept going. Like, it stayed on Chris the Stallion. Like, it was, I don't know, he was being a freak, being a sicko. But great women's business match. Definitely fit the theme of All Out. It woke the crowd up for sure. It kept the crowd momentum going, and it had us at the edge of our seats. And they did an amazing job. I love seeing Willow and Chris. They're a great rivalry, and they're great teammates. So I can't wait to see what's next for Willow and Chris. It's time for Chris to get pushed towards that women's business title. She, we saw her with the TBS championship. Now it's time to put her in the AEW Women's Championship category. It's time to push that button. Okay. Now, another women's business. I want to talk about Mercedes Moné finisher. Mercedes Moné versus Sheeta. It was a great match as well. Great match. It was perfect. I wish she faced her at All In. Around like the last 2 minutes to set up for the finisher is where it's fluttered just a little bit. And I remember I was telling Davis, I was just like, I feel like it's a skill issue with the finisher, a skill issue on the opponent. And I'm not saying that Sheeta is not a great opponent, because she is. But I feel like because of Mercedes' height, it's not going to connect well. Like, I feel like she needs to be a little bit taller to do that move. Like, it works if somebody is the same height as her or shorter than her. But if it's somebody that's taller than her, it doesn't work. So I feel like, I'm not saying Mercedes Moné, she can't wrestle, or she's the problem, or it's this and this and this. I just feel like it may be a height difference. And that's why it's either sink or swim with that finisher. She may need another one for AEW. And if she wants to keep doing that, because it works well with the last opponent that she had for the New Japan Strong pay-per-view, because that girl and her was the same height. But Sheeta's a little bit taller than her and a little bit thicker than her. And you could tell that Sheeta was, she was kind of struggling, trying to, make sure she was in the right position for her to do it. But I don't think she needs to do that, the maker finisher at the money maker at all. I feel like she needs to do something else because it's not working. And then because if you don't have a good finisher, it doesn't matter how the match is, because as great as that match was, people remember the finisher. Because now the finisher took away from how great the match truly was. And then I had to kind of go off on some people because they were trying to say Sheeta's not that good. First of all, that's not what you're not gonna do that, and you're not gonna say that either. It ain't had nothing to do with Sheeta. It's just there's no connection with that finisher. Might need to go to Jericho right and come up with the strike. She needs to do something because it's not working. And if she keeps trying to do that finisher, or if she's not working with the opponent on the finisher so it can look decent, it's going to take away of the potential of the match. Like, you can tell that she works with Willow to do the finisher. And then ever since then, I don't know if her and Sheeta didn't rehearse it or whatever. Britt Baker, of course, she wasn't going to do it right. So, I don't know. But something has to give, because I don't want it to make it seem like, okay, maybe, because people are easily to slander Mercedes because they started doing it again, like trying to play on her top like she's not good or nothing like that. I'm like, she is good. It's just that finisher. It's just the finisher. So either she needs to work on it or try to rehearse it with that opponent, or just come up with a different finisher. Or just get that finisher on somebody that can do it and just save it for them or something and just have a second finisher. I don't know. But the finisher took away from how the actual match went, because they was going toe-to-toe, blow for blow. It was a good match between the two. Like, Sheeta matched her free. And then the finisher happened. So that was my critique. That was my only critique about that match, was that finisher. It's just like, okay, that finisher is not working. At first, like, people were saying it, and I'm just like, no, I got to give it time. Because I don't want to just say that finisher is not working. Because people just easily saying it because it's her. They weren't saying it just because a lot of people just saying it because it's her. So then when she did it good against the opponent from New Japan, I'm like, okay, then maybe it is a skill issue. But then I seen it again against Sheeta, and like how she was trying to position Sheeta, because she tried to put Sheeta on her back. Sheeta almost fell. Sheeta had to kind of like balance herself so she can hit it. And then so I'm just like, it has to be a height thing and also a skill thing. It has to be like that. That's my own thing. I'm like, it has to be a height thing, because even though Willow is not, she was the same height as Willow, but Willow is thicker, way thicker than Mercedes. But like I said, you could tell that they rehearsed it. Like, they made sure, because Willow hit it perfectly. I'm pretty sure Athena could hit it perfectly. That's why I'm just like, it might be a height thing or a small mistake. Like, you have to be perfectly aligned or perfectly positioned to do it correctly. But either way it goes, like, the finisher can't keep looking, it can't be some timing, because if it keeps happening that way, it's going to take away from the entire match. So that's just my only thing regarding Mercedes Moné versus Sheeta. I would love for them to run it back, though. Like, I need a part 2. I need them to run it back, just with a different finisher. So that way it won't take away from the actual skill set of the match, because the match is delivered, but nobody can really talk about it because people are still stuck on that finisher. How you start and how you end is always key. Always key, especially in wrestling. All right, so another thing that happened, Hangman and Swerve Strickland's story. It concluded the way it needed to conclude it. Their rivalry. Not saying that their rivalry will always be over, but it definitely will be on pause. But Hangman finished the job. I love the storytelling in this ring. You know, Hangman really got dirty and did what he needed to do to put him down. I like how, you know, once he won the match and he went up, and then, you know, he had the look of hesitation, the look of concern to see if he actually hurt him, but then he retracked because he remembered, you know what I'm saying? Like, you brought that out of me, like the things that you've done to get me to this point. And then he hesitated to go back to the heel side. I mean, I'm not the heel side, but the face side of the apron. Shoot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to say. He hesitated and then ended up going back to the heel ramp. He wanted to go to the babyface ramp. Great storytelling. It was a great way to end things. You know, Hangman burnt his house down. And he was drinking Sir Davis. That I saw the package. He was drinking Sir Davis whiskey. So he got the Sir Davis. He knows ball. Shout out to Hangman. He knows ball. But AEW's main character, one of the best storytellers in wrestling by far. Doesn't matter what company is in, Hangman. Yes, Sir Davis is, let me tell y'all, it tastes like honey. And you know how some whiskey, it burns, but it's like a smooth, like it's a warmth down your throat. It tastes so good. All you need, like, it gets you on your level, for real. Like, I was on my level. It tastes so good. It's sweet. It's for grown folks. It's for the grown folks. It's definitely worth the dollars. What did I watch? He heard throat and was like, what the he was talking about? I was talking about the Sir Davis. Sir Davis. But yeah, so purchasing Sir Davis is definitely worth the money. It's some great whiskey. Jack Daniels, your 30 minutes is up. Your 30 minutes is up. Okay. Next up, after that, I want to talk about the main thing that happened on Sunday. Now, it was Jack Perry versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW Championship or whatever. Bryan Danielson ends up retaining, but the interesting thing happened after the match. Christian Cage was about to come down. Luchasaurus and Jack Perry, was in the ring for the first time in a long time. So that was a great little eye-to-eye contact. Like I said, if you wasn't with Jack Perry during the Tarzan days, don't come through in his scapegoat days, okay? And he handled Chicago well. The reception that Jack Perry gets in Chicago now is totally different. People was doing the "Oh, Cry Me a River" chants in Chicago now. It was some people that was trying to do the CM Punk chants, but it didn't mean nothing because all he did was smirk and wink and went on. Like, his confidence is fully there. It doesn't bother him anymore. And the Jack Perry hate is so forced, and it's only online now. So it means nothing. And I'm glad he's at a point and state, especially mental state, that it doesn't affect him anymore. Like, he's able to just go out there, be a heel, do his job, and do what he's supposed to do as a wrestler. So yeah, that happened. And then the patriarchy, they came out. But then BCC came out, Moxley, Claudio, Pac, and Yuta. So Danielson thinking everything was all good. They raised his hand, and then Claudio hit the fist. Danielson got hit. He couldn't believe it. Then Moxley put the bag on him. Pac was holding Yuta back like, oh no, my boy. You can't do nothing about this one. And like I did on Twitter, I was just reminding the people, because I love running my victory laps. I told y'all. And that's why I say all the time, when it comes to AEW Creative, the booking, yes, it can be questionable. But the creative wise and the things that they have, the ideas that they have, it is a chapter book. It's not a picture book. It's not on the surface. Everything that is mentioned, remember it. Every promo that y'all be asking for, remember it. Like it internalize it. I will take you back. Because it took me saying Eddie Kingston was right. And then people, oh yeah, Eddie Kingston was right, blah, blah, blah. If you go all the way back, even when it was Eddie Kingston and Moxley, they were a tag team together. And then the Danielson happened, the feud happened, and then William Regal happened. And then Claudio joined. And Eddie Kingston kept saying, do not trust this man. This man is a snake. This man is the snake, it's snake. And every episode of All Elite with Keeks, and y'all remember last year when the Elite and BCC had the Blood and Guts match, and I kept saying Claudio sat there and watched Yuta get choked to death. Like, I kept saying stuff on each episode when I broke down a Dynamite or a Collision. I kept trying to say, I'm like, Claudio be abusing Yuta, or Claudio be like, he will say so, or he always be the middleman, or the throw rocks and hide his hands, dude. I kept trying to tell y'all that. And then last week, not last week, but 2 weeks ago at All In, when I said, I'm like, I don't think Moxley gonna take this well. That Pac was so easily to be replaceable. Like, he was easily to jump in to be BCC. I knew Moxley probably wasn't gonna have a problem with it, but it's just and then on top of that, Moxley don't like liars. Danielson is a liar. When Moxley was aiming or trying to get to the championship, Danielson was just like, he's just here to kick heads in. And now he's champion. I told y'all Moxley was going to have a problem with that. You think I must... And then Moxley said at the Dynamite, when he told Tony, he said, it's not your company anymore. Who's part of the staff in the company? Danielson, right? He's the disciplinary. He's in the committee. Moxley about to be on some, how you say this and this and this about Punk, and you're doing the same thing. But you're just being, self-proclaimed righteous. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know Moxley hate people like that. You're a liar. Moxley don't want to stand next to you while you had that championship. Moxley wants a championship again. So this is going to be interesting. We'll hear from them Wednesday. We'll hear how this goes. The only person that didn't see this coming was Yuta, and it makes sense because Danielson put Yuta in BCC, like initiated him in. Yuta looks up to Danielson, so it made sense that they held Yuta back. Great storytelling. I don't see how people did not see this coming, though. It was obvious that this was coming because there's been times where Danielson should have been there at times and he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But then when Moxley is not there, you're quick to replace this man with Pac. It was bound to happen. So we'll see Wednesday. We'll see. Maybe I'm thinking too deep in it, but I like this stuff. I like to, it keeps me going. It keeps things interesting. It can be something as simple as you didn't return my phone call. You never know with Moxley. He talks in riddles. You just got to solve the riddle. He talks in circles. You just got to put the pieces together. But we'll see, why. But I'm pretty certain it has a lot to do with Danielson being a liar as in regards to the intention of being the champion when he just said he's there to kick faces in or kick heads in. But I still want to know what Moxley, because he still wants Darby Allin. So we'll see what that's all about too with Darby Allin, because he still wants Darby Allin, but we seeing him choking Danielson. So again, y'all can't be asking, people will be like, where's the promo? Where's the story? It's right in front of your face if you just not watch AEW through Twitter and just actually pay attention. Like, it's okay to engage, but actually just pay attention for yourself. Or you can listen to content creators to kind of help you decipher it. Not the ones that's just trolling or the ones that just, because again, when it comes to the creative, they're not on the surface with it because, again, it was people on the timeline that was kind of shocked that this happened. And I'm just like, the pieces was there. Like it was Moxley literally gave you a hint in that promo. He just talks in circles. He just talks in riddles, but you just have to solve the riddle. You just got to understand what he's saying or, internalize and probably just think, what is he talking about? He said it's not your company anymore. Danielson, it's not your company anymore. As much as we want to say the elite is being dirty as far as how they manage AEW, I'm talking about kayfabe wise, Danielson and Slick kind of doing the same thing in a way, but he's self-righteous. He's the baby face. So it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, it was the other key matches that happened at All Out. Of course, it opened up with MJF and what's the boy? Daniel Garcia. Sorry, had a brain fart. It opened up with MJF and Daniel Garcia. That was a brutal match. Now, I didn't pay too much attention to that match like I should because The Weeknd was performing. I was at the Weeknd concert on the other monitor. So, but I did see a little glimpse. I saw like it was bloody and people was getting spit on or something like that. And Danielson and not Danielson, but Daniel Garcia lost. And they saying because he hasn't signed a contract yet. So I mean, it makes sense not to give him a win just in case if he lose because Tony Khan is tired of getting hit with the okie doke with these wrestlers. So I get it. I'm tired of being nice to people that are just trying to use AEW as a stepping stool. I get it. I ain't mad at it. It's time. I've been saying it. It's time to, put your foot down on certain things because How many times people gonna be playing in my face, and all I have been doing is trying to look out for them? So I get it. Um, Young Bucks, they went against Claudio and Yuta for the AEW Tag Team Championship. That was a great AEW Tag Team Championship, by the way. Like, that was Young Bucks. Like, they was fully Young Bucks for that match. I understand, because it's Claudio and Yuta, so I would go all out too. That was a good match as well. Will Ospreay and Pac. That was definitely one of the matches of the night as well. I was into that. That was real grass between Pac and Will Ospreay. They got to run that back for real, for real. The Okada versus Takeshita versus Orange Cassidy versus who else? Who was the last person on there? Roger Strong, was it? I think it was Roger Strong. Or Mark Briscoe. One or the other. It had to be Mark Briscoe. It was one of them. Again, I was watching the weekend concert, y'all. But yeah, All Out overall, it was not a bad pay-per-view. It was brutal. It did what it needed to do. It was beginnings, it was endings. And we're gonna see, Full Gear is the next AEW pay-per-view to come up. That is in November, October or November-ish. One of them. But yeah, Full Gear is coming up, and then you have Wrestle Dream. That's the last one. And then, of course, they will be in Japan because they are going to be part of their New Japan one too. So yeah, we're in the fall season, so it's getting pretty much to a close. Y'all know around the end of the year it'll be my All Elite with Heeks AEW Awards coming up soon. I will keep y'all in the know for the nominations to that. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow to Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's debate, so y'all can be aware. Again, on her website, she has updated the policies that she's standing for, so take a look at that. That is tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Of course, on CNN, all your local news channel. And if you're not watching, of course, I'm going to tweet about it. I'm going to live tweet it. This Wednesday is Dynamite, so make sure you tune into Dynamite because, of course, they'll pick up from what happened on Sunday. Make sure you watch Rampage and make sure you watch ROH as well. They have been having ROH stars on Collision as well as Rampage and sometimes the opening of pay-per-view. So make sure you look at ROH on Thursdays. Be subscribed to the ROH. Pay the little $5.99. Y'all got $5.99. Make sure you pay that. Tune into Collision on Saturdays. And, pay-per-views for AEW will be on Saturdays now because, again, it's football season. Tony Khan had to leave Chicago early to, head to, Jacksonville versus Miami game. So he had to go out there. So AEW pay-per-views will be on Saturdays now during this season, during football season. So you have that. So I don't have too much announcements, but again, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you tune in every Monday. I will be back next Monday. We'll see what's going on Dynamite and Collision and anything that we need to talk about in regards to AEW. We will talk about it. Thank you again for supporting me, and thank you for, I love keeping y'all laughing, and that's what I'm here to do. And we still them boys. Play it one more time.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still them boys?
What a hit song. What a hit song. Shout out to the Cowboys fans everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Still them boys. Yeah, so I'll be back here next Monday. Be sure to subscribe on Public Enemies. Make sure you tune into Public Enemies every Thursdays as well. They are at 7-8 Eastern time, so make sure you tune in to their show as well. They go over all the wrestling promotions, everything that's wrestling. They got it covered. WWE, NXT, AEW. It's a little bit of Impact in there. Just things that is popular. Make sure you tune into Public Enemies every Thursdays. And make sure you tune into me every Mondays. I am strictly AEW, okay? So thank you guys for tuning in, and he might get away.
First of all, there's no such thing as white-collar crime. And there's definitely no such thing as black-on-black crime. Crime is crime. Let me explain something to you. I don't care if you have a white collar or a tank top. If you rob me, I'm gonna whoop your ass.